Je ziet oorlogs komt klip uit van, dat is versteende bomen. Dat is miljoenen jaren oud zeilen. Zo zal de Afrikaners ook hier, ook zo versteen blij. De Afrikaners zijn gekomen in het jaar 1908. Hier is het land Comodoro, hier is de plek wat we afgeklemd.
Na die oorlog, toen die oorlog verloren met die Engelsen, toen waren niet onder die vlag gestaan, niet zelden daar zo niet.
Maar toen we hier komen, is niks niet, als niks gaat, was baie moeilijk vallen geweest, baie moeilijk. Ons is nou op pad naar mijn plaats toe. Ons gaan dan meer voor 3 uur, dus ons nu gaan, tot ons daar komen. Ah ja.
Ons trainen hoe aan met die Afrikaanse gewoontes. Hier is Silvana, zij dansen en die collectividad.
A mis padres no les gustó que me tatuara, pero cuando vieron que era una protea, se sintieron orgullosos.
Gewoonlijk die lelijkste woorden is wat die eerste geleerd wordt.
Right there on your screen, there is a focus on the Dickasons who long to reconnect with their relatives after they travel back to Africa for the first time, exploring their sense of identity and connection with their roots and experiencing emotional reunions with family from whom they have been separated by decades and oceans. That's the SAFTA Award-winning documentary BOERE OP DIE AARDSDREMPel, or in English, the Boers at the End of the Earth, which places the spotlight on a remote stretch in Patagonia, Argentina, where there is a 100-year-old community that speaks Afrikaans. Yes, in Argentina, a language only spoken in Afrikaans. Boers at the End of the Earth received 3 SAFTA nominations in the Best Achievement of Cinematography, Sound Design and Best Editing in the documentary categories. The movie will be released on DVD on the 22nd of April. And to tell us more, we're joined from our Sea Point studios by its director and cinematographer, Ginn and Gregory. Richard, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
I mean, let's start with background into the documentary. How did you even find these people?
Finding them was a little tricky. You know, I first heard the story, like many other great South African stories, around a braai. And after I had heard it, I thought, well, it sounds almost too incredible to be true. And I started doing some research and found that every couple of years a journalist had written something about it, but there'd been no documentary work done around it for over 30 years. And obviously the community must have changed a lot since then. So through about 6 months of research, I eventually managed to reach out and meet one of the sons of a couple who still speak Afrikaans as the home language via Facebook. And he said to me, you know, come on over here, I'll introduce you to my parents who speak Afrikaans as their first language. And that's how we got started on the project.
What are some of the findings when you landed in Patagonia in Argentina?
Well, at first I realized that the Afrikaans that's spoken is actually very intelligible. I thought it might be closer to Dutch, but it sounds more like a very old-fashioned Afrikaans from the Karoo. And that's the other thing that struck me immediately, is that the landscape looks so similar to the Karoo. And it makes sense because the Patagonian government, or the Argentine government, originally invited them over there because they knew how to farm sheep in the harsh environment of the Karoo. So this was an opportunity for them to have a new start after many of their farms had been destroyed during the Anglo-Boer War.
And you focused on the Dickasons family. I mean, paint a picture for us about this family. Are they a typical family? What stood out for you about them?
I would say they are typical, in the sense that the older members still live on the same farms that their grandfathers and great-grandparents had established when they first arrived there. But the younger ones are very much integrated with the Argentine society, and the younger people, and by younger I mean anyone younger than about 60 years old, don't speak any Afrikaans at all. It's only the older generation. And the older generation, there's a sense of sadness because they feel that the farms are people don't really like to work the farms in the old-fashioned way like they did, and so they worry about the future of their farms and the future of their language and their culture in the area.
Yeah, speaking about that, I mean, what will prevent their culture from eroding over time?
Well, there's nothing to stop it from eroding. That's clearly happening. Unfortunately, because most of the people who still speak Afrikaans, and there's somewhere between 30 and 45 of them who still speak the language, as year by year goes by, the community who speak Afrikaans is slowly passing away. So there's nothing that can be done to stop the erosion of it. But I'm hoping that there's enough interest in the community from the younger people that they want to preserve their culture, that they want to try and learn Afrikaans and preserve what they have so it's not lost entirely in that region.
What were the highlights for you on working on this documentary?
I think it was the incredible hospitality that I experienced from the people there. They would take me out and stay in some of their farms, and some of the farms are very rustic. There's no electricity or running water, and they'd kill a sheep for me for breakfast and that kind of thing. So it's a rural way of life that us city slickers aren't always used to. But the hospitality was something just incredible.
All right. Now, what has been the response from the public, and why the decision to release it on DVD?
Well, the response has been incredible. We won all 3 of the SAFTAs that we were nominated for, which was a great accolade. We're just finishing up our independent cinema release now, and the reviews have been overwhelming. But we get so many people from all different corners of the country saying, how can we watch this film if we're not in one of the major centers with a cinema? So we made sure that the DVD has been released, very hot on the heels of the cinema run, so that people can get it in their hands and everyone in the country can watch it. And the demand's been incredible. It's really satisfying.
All right. Richard, thank you so much for talking to us. Good luck with the release of the DVD. Well, it's certainly an interesting story. Everybody in the studio is asking Afrikaans in Argentina. Well, that's a story worth seeing. Director and cinematographer Richard Gregory of the SAFTA Award-winning documentary, The Boers at the End of the Earth, which focuses on a remote stretch of Patagonia in Argentina, where there's a 100-year-old community that speaks Afrikaans. The documentary releases on DVD on the 22nd of April.